Ladies and gentlemen, ad agencies are officially dead. No, I'm just kidding. But ChatGPT unveiled a crazy, crazy update with image generation. If you're on Twitter at all, if you follow any of the D2C brands or founders on there, everyone was having a field day with it. Everyone was going crazy. And I was just spending most of the day just going through, looking at examples, creating some of my own. And in this video, I'm just going to show you what's possible, what you can create, what I created for my clothing brand, and then some examples that some other people created as well. This is one of the craziest updates I've seen in a while. So definitely make sure you stick around and watch and see what we can create here. So you'll see here, this is my first prompts that I made for my clothing brand. This is one of the shirt concepts that I have. And I took an existing model shot from another brand. And it's really simple. I said, use this reference image to create a full body shot of a rugged Western man modeling this shirt. He's wearing blue jeans and cowboy boots, the shirt, the trucker hat. He is standing under a spotlight like at a rodeo. The background setting is hay bales and a farm, make it ultra realistic as if it were being used on the website of a clothing brand. So I was specific enough to tell them what the model's wearing, what he looks like in the setting. But then I give the reference image so it knows what to work off of. And then obviously the product shot. This is what it generated. This is crazy. Okay. I've used other AI tools before and I've never gotten an output like this off of the first rip too. This is crazy. The shirt is verbatim exactly what it is in the picture. The model looks super realistic. It's exactly what I envisioned and described. I mean, you could literally do a little bit of editing on this and you could probably pass this off and run this. Like, this is insane. So that's the first one that I did. Then the second one, I used the same prompt and I used a new shirt, but then I changed a couple things in the prompt. So I changed the setting. I changed a couple other things just to see if I could get a different output. And this is what it gave me. Again, this is crazy. Like, this looks super realistic. This looks like an actual shoot that we did, but it's not. I didn't spend thousands of dollars putting together the shoot. I did all of this for $20 in about 5 minutes. So this is what you can do. An example of what you can do if you have a clothing brand. Clothing is definitely harder than if you do like supplements or something like that. For CPG, it's a lot easier. I'll show you an example down here. So this is one that I did for an energy drink company. I literally just took this ad from Alani Nu and said, make this for this energy drink. And this is what it spit out. This is crazy. Like, you would normally have to pay an offshore designer and wait a couple of days to get something like this. And it generated this in literally a couple of minutes. Absolutely insane. So if we go to Twitter, you'll see a bunch of different stuff in here. Shout out to Jacob. He was really like leading the charge. He was creating all kinds of examples. He was posting stuff for the brands. A lot of really good work. So here's an example for create. Again, like this is crazy. Like, this is literally something that a designer would make. Maybe not top class, because I know top class designers. I've worked with a few, like, you can tell the difference for sure. But in terms of just generating this, like, you could literally generate hundreds of ads, get a designer to edit and tweak them, and you're golden. These are just a few examples. Like, these are just this is just insane to me. Doesn't mess up the product. That's an issue that Midjourney and some other tools had. Product looks great, right? So that's an example for supplements. Here's an example for kind of an old school ad for flowers. This one, again, this looks amazing. This looks like a real ad that you would see in a newspaper back in the day. Really good looking. We got one for Orca. This is kind of more of a fun one. Another one for a drink company, kind of that nostalgic old school style. Really like that. Let's see, we got a couple more down here that I saw. This one was really good for Muggsy jeans. So basically what they did is they said, this is our best performing ad. We want you to make this for a different variation of the product. In this case, just a different color of the jeans. Literally verbatim, the exact same ad, just with a different color. So this avoids you having to do a full-on different shoot. And you can instantly recreate this ad with any other version of the product. This is so crazy. If we keep going down, there was a couple more. This one looks really clean. Come on. Like, this looks like a designer made this. This is actually insane. That one looks really good. That one's decent. So some of them are okay. Some of them are really good. It all comes down to your prompting, right? If you understand how to prompt, that's how you're going to get the best output. If you don't understand how to prompt, if you're very vague and generic, then it's not going to give you the best output and you're going to be going in circles. So all of this comes down to how good you are at prompting. Here's one from Alex. These ones were really good. This one is insane, super professional. This one's really good. all of these are professional quality, or at least very close. I know there were some call outs on font and some stuff like that. Of course, you can always get that changed, but for a couple iterations, for a couple different prompts, these are a really, really good start. And they're probably like 90% of the way there. If you pass it off to a design team or a brand team, you can get some changes made, but this is so crazy. So in another video, I'll probably do an example showing you how to actually do this, but I just wanted to show examples in this video on what can be created and what has been created. Here's one for Ridge, super unique, super interesting. That one's really cool too. Carte blanche. So this is an example for a hat. I did one similar for my brand. It actually spit out a very similar model to this for mine. So that's where it comes into play, where prompting is super important, right? You need to be really good at prompting. You need to be very specific on what you want, and that's how you get exactly what you want. So highly recommend, if you haven't started, go ahead, start playing with this. In a little bit, I'll show you an example of how I prompt and how I do this, but this is one of the craziest updates I've seen in a minute, and you want to get ahead of this before everyone starts doing it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to actually do this live. So first, you're going to need your reference image. I saw some people saying that they do this in Claude, and then Claude creates a really good brief, and then they copy and paste that brief and that prompt into ChatGPT. This is just what I'm doing. Feel free to experiment with that, but this is what's worked for me. So you have a reference image, right? You want to find a reference image, whether it's an ad, a model from another clothing brand, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to do. I like to include a reference image. Then you're going to include your product image. I have just a simple flat light mock-up for one of my shirts. And then I'm going to go ahead and go down here. You hit create image. And then I have the prompt already copy and pasted, but I'll take you through it real quick because I do need to make some edits. So use this reference image to create a full body shot of a rugged Western man modeling this shirt. He's wearing black jeans and tan cowboy boots. For this example, I'm going to change it to light blue jeans and brown cowboy boots, the shirt, and a red trucker hat. He's standing under the natural sunlight. The background setting is, I'm going to do this outside. So I'm going to say in front of a fence at a ranch. Make it ultra realistic as if it were being used on the website of a clothing brand. Okay. So I have the reference image. I have the product shot. I talk about the model. I describe him. I describe what the shot looks like, the setting, all of that. Now I'm going to do this. And I haven't done an outdoor shot yet. I've only experimented with indoor. So we'll see what it looks like. We'll see what it does for the lighting, all of that stuff. I'm going to go ahead, pause this, and wait for it to update. Generally takes about 2 to 3 minutes, depends. But yeah. All right, so the image is done generating, and this is what it came out with. This is pretty crazy. Still looks realistic. It really hit the lighting well. The shirt looks almost the exact same. Maybe a little bit of distortion there, but can definitely clean that up with a couple of fixes. This is crazy for one prompt. And then you can do all kinds of things to clean it up, do different variations, whatever you need to do. But this is really crazy for a first prompt. So that's an example of what you can do with this. I highly recommend, instead of just starting from scratch and being very vague and generic and just telling it, make me this, give it a reference, create a really detailed, descriptive brief, and make variations from there. And the more of a reference point you can give it, and the more detailed a description, the more likely you're going to get a good output like this. And I'm sure that there's ways that I can improve this and get even better outputs. I've just barely even experimented with this. It's been less than 24 hours since I started this. So really crazy opportunity right now. If you're in e-commerce, make sure that you're using this, and you can absolutely get whatever assets you need, whether it's ads, content, social media posts, whatever it is. You can get at least 80 to 90% of the way there. And in some cases, you can get assets and deliverables that are good enough to post right out of ChatGPT. So definitely take advantage of this update. Go in, play around with it, experiment with it. If you have any questions or need help, just comment on this video and I'm happy to help.